Hello friends, this is Renuka. Today we are going to learn electric charge. In this lesson, we are going to discuss electric charge, how does object acquire charge, types and properties of electric charge, how does lightning strike takes place, and charge particles and electric force. This electric charge is about static electricity. Basically, electricity is divided into two parts, static electricity and current electricity. Static electricity is first discovered by a scientist Benjamin Franklin with his famous kite experiment. He proved that during lightning, a very heavy electric charge flows from one cloud to another cloud. Static electricity we also experience in our day-to-day life. For example, you might have got small electric shock while getting out of a car. This is because electric charge builds up on a car, and when you touch metal door, electric charge passes through your body, since our body can conduct electric charge. Or you may have seen electric spark while taking off synthetic cloth. Let me give you one more example. If you wear woolen cap in winter for a long time, and when you remove it, you can see your hair stands up. This is because your hair gets attracted towards cap, since both become electrically charged. All these phenomena are explained on the basis of static electricity. I am sure you have done an activity in which you rub plastic ruler on your hair and then the ruler can attract the small pieces of paper. This is because after rubbing, the ruler becomes electrically charged. Before moving further in this chapter, I would like to demonstrate an activity. Here is an electroscope. This is very simple electroscope. You can also design such electroscope at home. It has one conducting wire and two aluminum foils which are cut in the shape of leaves. It is used to detect the presence of charged object and also the nature of charge. Now this is balloon. When I touch this balloon to this wire, you can see there is no change in the position of aluminum foils. Now what I am going to do is that I am going to rub this balloon on my hair. When I rub balloon on hair, this balloon becomes electrically charged, and when it touches to this wire, you can see the aluminum foils repel each other. Let me do it one more time. The aluminum foils move apart. Why do aluminum leaves repel each other? The answer of this question you will be getting later in this class. Now, in order to understand why does aluminum foils repel each other when charged balloon touches to the wire, or why does uncharged ruler can attract the small pieces of paper, we must understand the structure of atom, because we know that the matter surrounding us is made of atom. Atom is the most fundamental unit of matter and it is the most stable unit. So let's study the structure of atom. Let's have a look on structure of atom. It has positively charged nucleus which consists of protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged particles. Neutrons are chargeless particle. They are neutral. Neutron, its name itself indicates that it doesn't carry any charge, but proton carries positive charge. And electron revolves around the nucleus in different shell. So there are three subatomic particles. Electrons, there are three subatomic particles: electrons, protons and neutrons. We know that atom is neutral because we know that each and every matter consists of atom. So when we touch the matter, let's take this board. Now when I touch the board, I do not get electric shock because this board is neutral. It means that this board doesn't carry any charge. Similar to this, atom also do not carry any charge even though it has electrons and protons. The reason is that any atom under normal circumstances it has equal number of electrons and protons. Number of electrons equals to number of protons, and charge on electron or charge on proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This is called elementary charge. This E is for elementary, not for electron. The amount of charge on proton and electrons both are same. Only the charge for electron is negative and the charge for proton is positive. So there is a balance in the negative and positive charge. Suppose this atom is aluminum atom. So what is the atomic number of aluminum? 13. It means that it has 13 electrons and 13 protons. What is the charge on electron? Negative. So minus 13, charge on proton is plus, minus 13 plus 13 is 0. This shows that the charges are cancel out or they balance each other. Therefore, this atom is electrically neutral. Now what happens if this atom gains electron? See, the aluminum atom has 13 electron. Actually here I didn't draw 13 electron. You just imagine that this is an aluminum atom. So if this atom loses an electron, so after losing electron, the number of electrons in this atom become 12. But the number of protons remains the same. Remember that protons are fixed inside the nucleus. We cannot remove protons easily from the nucleus. They are tightly bound with the nuclear forces, whereas electrons are loosely bound to this nucleus. There exists a force of attraction between electron and proton as they are oppositely charged. But the electrons in the outermost shell, also called as valence electrons, they are loosely bound, and with the small energy they can easily move from the atom. So after losing one electron, the number of electrons in aluminum atom becomes 12 and number of protons 13. Again we will calculate the total charge. So minus 12 plus 13 is plus 1. This shows that after losing electron, the atom becomes positively charged particles. This positively charged atom is called cation. In this way, the atom becomes positively charged when the atom loses electron. Let us consider another case when the same atom gains an electron. So after gaining electrons, the number of electrons become 14. And number of protons still remains the same. Calculate the total charge. Charge on electron is minus. Minus 14 plus 13 is minus 1. You can see now after gaining electron, the total charge on the atom is minus 1 because it gains an electron. Therefore, the charge on atom is minus 1. So the atom becomes positively charged after losing electrons and negatively charged after gaining electrons. Without losing protons, the atom can become positive or negatively charged. Now you can see there is an imbalance in the positive and negative charge. Due to the imbalance in positive and negative charge, atom acquires static electricity. This is how atom or any object acquires static electricity. This is about atom. Let's talk about matter. What happens when you rub plastic rod on silk cloth? The electrons are transferred from silk cloth to this rod, and after transferring electron, the cloth becomes positively charged and the rod becomes negatively charged. We'll see how the object becomes negatively and positively charged after losing and gaining electrons. Suppose this is rod and this is silk cloth. Before rubbing, the total charge on this rod and on this cloth were equal, means the total number of positive charge and negative charge in this rod and total number of positive and negative charge in this cloth were equal. Let's suppose there are 100 electrons and 100 protons in this rod. Because this rod consists of atoms, atoms have protons and neutrons. But in actual there are millions and billions of electrons and protons, but for the sake of simplicity we'll consider just 100 electrons and 100 protons. And let's take for this rod 300 electrons and 300 protons. So what is the total charge on this rod before rubbing? Minus 100 plus 100, minus 300 plus 300, 0. So when they are rubbed against each other, what happens? The electrons get frictional force. Because of the frictional force, the electrons are transferred from this cloth to this rod. Suppose 50 electrons are transferred. It means that this cloth loses 50 electrons. So 300 minus 50 is 250. After losing 50 electrons, the number of electrons become 250 and protons remains the same as we have discussed in case of atom. And here of this rod gains 50 electrons. So the electrons for this rod become 150 and protons the same. Let's calculate total charge. Minus 250 plus 300. Minus 250 plus 300 is plus 50. And here minus 150 plus 100 is minus 50. In this way, the object become positively charged object after losing electrons and negatively charged after gaining electrons. Because of the opposite charge, now they attract each other. I think now it's clear how the object becomes charged after rubbing. This will also help understand the properties of electric charge. The first property is additivity. Additivity, it means that we can add electric charge, additivity of electric charge. Here as you can see, we can add electric charge directly, but you have to take care of sign, whether it's a positive charge or negative charge. For example, suppose this body is given plus 1, plus 1, plus 2 and minus 1 charge. Then what is the charge on this body? The total charge will be getting by adding these charges. Plus 1 plus 2 is plus 3, plus 3 minus 1 is plus 2. Means total charge will be plus 2. In this way, we can directly add charge like how we add number. What is meant by quantization of electric charge? This elementary charge is the smallest possible charge that exists in nature, and all other charges will be the integral multiple of this elementary charge. Suppose Q is total charge on a body, then this charge will be integral multiple of this elementary charge. As in case of atom, if atom has to lose the minimum electron, so minimum electron it can lose is a single electron which has elementary charge. Atom can never lose the electron like half of electron or 3/2 electrons. Means charge cannot exist in fraction. Charge will be always integral multiple of elementary charge. For example, you will have charge like 2e, 3e, 4e, or in this case we have taken 50. So the total charge on this body will be 50 times elementary charge. Here also 50 times elementary charge. This is for elementary charge, not for electrons. Here plus 50 times elementary charge, here minus 50. This is called quantization of electric charge. Next is conservation of electric charge. Conservation of electric charge means the electric charge is constant. The total charge in the universe is constant. As in this case, we have seen when the 50 electrons are transferred from this object, the same number of electrons are gained by this object. When 50 electrons are transferred, 50 electrons are gained. Therefore, the charge remains constant. This is similar to the law of conservation of energy or mass, in which you know that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Only it can be transformed from one form to another form. Similarly, according to the conservation of charge, we cannot create charge or we cannot destroy charge. Only the charge can be transferred from one object to another object, such that total charge of an isolated system remains constant. These are the properties of charge. From all these activities, we can say that there are two types of charge: positive charge and negative charge. There are two types of charges, positive and negative. There exists an attraction between unlike charges and repulsion between like charges. This is also called law of electric charges. The like charge, they repel each other. Like charges means negative negative or positive positive. This is similar to the magnetism, in which unlike poles, in case of magnetism it is unlike poles, but here it is unlike charges. So unlike charges attract each other. Don't confuse magnetism with electricity, because magnetism arises from poles of a magnet, whereas the static electricity arises from electric charge, positive and negative. Let's come to this electroscope. Now you are able to answer the question that why do aluminum foils repel when charged balloon touches to this wire? This is because when we rub balloon against here, the electrons are transferred from here to the balloon, and according to the law of conservation of charge, the same electrons are gained by balloon. When the balloon touches to the wire, then the excess electron which this balloon acquires travels through this wire, and the aluminum foils become negatively charged. Because of the same type of charge, the aluminum foils repel each other. As according to the law of electric charge, like charges repel each other. Therefore, these foils repel each other when they get same type of charge. As we have seen, a charged object can attract as well as repel another charged object depending on its charge. But if I ask you, can a charged object attract uncharged object? The answer is yes. For example, if you take a balloon and rub it against your hair, then balloon can stick to the wall. In this case, the balloon is charged object, but the wall is uncharged object, but still balloon get attracted towards wall. Let's see. Suppose this is balloon, and when you rub balloon on here, it gets excess negative charge. The balloon becomes negatively charged. And suppose this is wall. Wall is neutral object. It means that it has same number of positive and negative charges. So what happens when this balloon is brought close to the wall? It attracts the positive charges from this wall, as there is attraction between unlike charges, that is negative and positive. It attracts positive charges in this wall and repels negative charges, because there is a repulsion between like charges. So positive charges move close to the balloon, whereas negative charges move far. They may not move very far, but the effect is enough in order to give this wall a positive charge. and therefore they start attracting. In this way, an charged object can attract uncharged object. This redistribution of charges in uncharged object due to the presence of charged object is called as induction. Charges are induced, and therefore this redistribution of charges in uncharged object due to the presence of charged object is called induction. Quite similar thing happen in case of lightning. We'll see how lightning strike takes place. Like any other matter, the water molecules which forms cloud also have positive and negative charges. During thunderstorm, there is a movement in the cloud. Due to this movement, the positive and the negative charge in the clouds separates in such way that the positive charges accumulate at the upper region of the cloud and negative charges concentrate at the base of this cloud. This negative charges of the cloud repels the negative charge from the ground. Ground has positive and negative charges, but the negative charges of this cloud repels the negative charge of ground, leaving more positive charges on the surface, and negative charges are pushed downwards. Positive charges appear on the surface, giving the surface a positive charge. This positive charge attracts negative charge in this cloud, and because of the attraction, it travels through a tall object like a tall building or a tall tree. When the negative and the positive charge they connect, a continuous path is formed. This positive charge travels through this building or tree. Through this path, these electric charges rush down with tremendous speed, giving rise to a huge amount of static electricity, which we call as lightning. This is how a lightning strike takes place. This sudden movement of electric charge hits a air to about 20,000 degrees Celsius, which is very high temperature. It is 3 times the temperature of the surface of sun, and therefore it produces a bright glow of light. As the lightning strikes a building, it can cause a damage since it has a very high temperature. Sometimes it can also burn tree and causes forest fire. To avoid this, the lightning conductors are installed on building. Lightning conductors are nothing but the copper rods. One end of this rod is projected upward in the sky and the other end is buried under the ground. Now if lightning occurs, this charge gets attracted towards copper because copper is a good conductor of electricity and travel safely through this wire into the ground without causing any damage to a building. In this way, lightning conductor works. Electric field. First of all, what is field? A field is an area or a region. Similarly, electric field is an area or region surrounding a charged object. Let's take a charged object. Suppose this balloon has excess positive charge. Then there exists a region surrounding this charged object, such that if you bring another charged object or uncharged object, that object will experience an electric force due to the electric field produced by this object. For example, if you hold a charged ruler at this distance, negatively charged ruler at this distance from the balloon, then can they attract? No, they cannot attract even though they have opposite charges, because this ruler is not in the electric field produced by this balloon. If you put ruler in the region, in this region, means in this electric field which is produced by this balloon, then they start attracting each other. See, when you do an activity, you rub plastic ruler on your hair and you bring the ruler close to the pieces of paper. If you hold at this distance, then they will not attract. When you bring ruler close to the pieces of paper, means the pieces should come in the electric field of ruler. Then only the pieces of paper get attracted towards ruler. Charged particles are nothing but the particles which form an atom. We know that atom consists of positively charged protons and negatively charged electrons. These particles are called charged particles because they have electric charge. Electric charge is one of the physical quantities, like any other physical quantities such as mass, length, time, temperature. All these are physical quantities, and these physical quantities are measurable. We can measure this physical quantity. Similarly, electric charge is also measurable. Electric charge is measured in coulombs, which is named after a French physicist, Charles Coulomb, who worked on the static electricity at about the same time as Benjamin Franklin. So charge on electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Experimentally, it is proved that charge on electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and as electrons are negatively charged particle, therefore its charge is negative. This 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb is very small amount of charge. From this we can calculate the total electrons in 1 coulomb of charge. We'll take this 1 coulomb of charge and this will go to LHS. So we'll get E divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. If you solve this, you'll get this is approximately equal to 6 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. This is number of electrons. In 1 coulomb of charge, there are 6 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. Similarly, charge on proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and it is positive. This charge on electron or charge on proton is smallest possible charge in the universe. Charge cannot be smaller than this. The smallest charge is charge on electron. It can be greater, but it will be always the integral multiple of this charge, like 2e, 3, as we have seen before. So this is the smallest possible charge, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb also showed that there exists a force of attraction or repulsion between two charged object. Suppose this is positively charged, it means it has excess positive charge, and this is negatively charged object. Then there exists a force of attraction between the two charged object, and this force of attraction depends on how big their charge is and how far they are from each other. That is the distance between them. This electric force is one of the fundamental forces in nature. Like you know gravitational force. Gravitational force exists between two masses. Suppose M1 and M2 are the two masses. Then It depends on the amount of mass, that is the magnitude of mass, and also the distance between them. Similarly, the electric force depend on charge and distance between two charged objects. But the important difference between gravitational force and electric force is that gravitational force is always attractive. It attracts the object. But this electric force can be attractive or repulsive or zero. For example, gravitational force between two positive charge, positive and positive, will be repulsive. Positive, negative, it's attractive. But the electric force, not the gravitational force. The electric force between the two charged object will be attractive or repulsive or zero. For example, the electric force between two neutral objects is zero. But gravitational force can never be zero because it depends on mass. If mass is zero, then gravitational force will be zero. This electric force holds the atom together to form molecules and molecules together to form matter. Thank you.